Yeah.
Maybe, but the process, the parliamentary process, is so slow and so partisan to a certain extent. It drags and drags and drags the issues, which have been revealed quite clearly by many testimonies. Now, she was talking about over 100 testimonies that came in front of her during the Hog Commission. But if we return to the parliamentary committees, it's over 300 experts that went in front of various parliamentary committees. So that's a lot of people who sings from the same music sheet and say, we're having a serious problem in Canada. The problem and the consequences also is the image that we project to our allies and the loss of trust from our own population into our institutions, despite the fact that she mentioned that our institution remains robust, that the system is strong, has not been affected. And I would agree that probably the election have not been sort of turned on their head because of the foreign interference. But the fact of the matter that we're capable to have people that are gaining access to the higher sphere of the decision makings in Canada, you don't need an army to be capable to do so. You don't need to have half of the House of Commons. You need to have the right people at the right position to be capable to influence, just like we saw the interference coming from global affairs in the process of sharing intelligence coming from CSIS, and the tug of war that exists within the government, within the organization. And
global affairs, you mentioned there too, coming with the global affairs, right? I mean, that's that 179-page slush fund thing. So this is Michael Junot Katsuya, former CSIS Asia Pacific Division Chief. Foreign interference will never be completely eradicated, warns.
I got a better one.
Inquiry Commissioner. Yeah, that was just where I had left off, basically.
Let's listen to this one.
Service, an analyst for the U.S. National Security Agency, has confirmed American agencies. Thank you so much for taking time. We know this story keeps evolving. How serious is China's political interference from your perspective in Canadian politics?
This is a year old for context.
It became extremely serious. It became extremely dangerous also for our democracy, for our system. I was the chief of Asia Pacific for CSIS in the mid-90s when we were corresponding with our U.S. counterpart, and we were exchanging data, we were exchanging worries about what was going on. When we published our report, it was totally cited, and nobody wanted to pay attention to what we were saying. At that period of time, we could have been capable to probably mitigate the threat that China was starting to engage against us. Today, it has evolved to the size that now the revelation of the Globe and Mail tells us. And this whistleblower is doing us a service to reveal what all government, every party, every government has ignored for decades now. So it's not only this current government that is at fault. All previous governments were also ignoring what we were saying.
So, Michelle, as you said, you've been raising these flags of interference for years. Why do you think it has taken so long for all of this to come out publicly?
I think there is two reasons. One of the reasons is that there was an element of partisanry. There was an element that could be useful to the government in power or the people who wanted to get in power or stay in power. And they saw useful to simply keep a certain statu quo. The other element is definitely we have evidence that we have been infiltrated by agent of influence, people working on behalf of the Chinese intelligence service, not necessarily spy, but people who have been recruited and being capable to influence the power at bay. So this has been going on for the last 40 years, from Mr. Mulroney all the way to Mr. Trudeau today. Every prime minister has been compromised at one point or another by those agents of influence.
Every prime minister, you say, has been compromised by those agents.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
But fuck the USA.